intro. Well, here we go. Dance Extreme's here. Woohoo! Let's pop them up on the screen. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Welcome to you too. I don't do well with this stuff. Longer arms. How are you doing? Sorry, we were a little confused. We were on the wrong
don't worry. That's okay. We should have let you know. Totally forgot about that.
So,
would you like to introduce yourself to the viewers?
Hi. I'm Vicky with Dance Extreme. I'm out of Greenwood Village, Colorado. You want me to tell me? I mean, I've been in business for 20 years. We just moved to a brand new store. We just opened 5 days ago from the quarantine status. So we're doing a lot of pointe shoes and ballet shoes and stuff like that.
I bet it's been really busy, right?
Yes, I've been very busy with pointe shoes and ballet shoes.
Perfect.
So,
would you like to show us around your store? Show us what it looks like?
See how I do that. How do I do this?
You might have to press the...
oh, here we go. Oh,
there we go. You got it.
Front door. Okay, so this is our front counter. This is where all our tights are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, there's loads.
Yeah, we have a lot of tights. And then this is like our accessories, our wall there.
Oh, nice.
And then, let's see how I'm going to do this. So basically, let's go back here. This is where all our shoes are. So we have lots of regular shoes, our pants, and then we do a big ballroom business.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we do a ton of ballroom. Normally we have a lot more benches in here, but we have to be that 6 feet distancing.
Of course.
So, and then here we just have all our clothes over here.
Mm-hmm.
Just various sizes and stuff like that. We've got about 4,000 square feet here. And then this is my masterpiece right here. This is my pointe shoe room. See if I can get you
wow.
Is that good?
That's amazing. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we got some pointe shoes in here, and then we have more pointe shoes in back. But
wow, it's so cool.
Yeah, I had to have. I've had too many neck surgeries, so I had to figure out a way so I didn't bend over so much with these kids. So
I get you. Yep.
They're starting to affect. So they have like decks or stages.
I love this little setup here with the bar and the massive mirror and the little stage.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah, we have two stages here. And so that helps. So we can, again, do multiple pointe shoes at a time.
Wow. Show us closer up in these little cubby holes. I want to see.
Little cubby holes?
Yeah, okay. I'm interested in how you organize it all.
Well, this is,
I see.
What is this stuff called? Something pipe. It's plumbing stuff.
And then you've got like the size of the shoe, or the width, the size.
So this is like,
the
not
model.
that you care, but there's Kylie and there's the Ava, and then down here is like Nikolay, like right there.
Oh, that's really
they
cool.
Have their own slots.
That's
so
amazing.
Out here is where we have our most popular shoes.
Yeah.
And then in back we have another 3,000 square feet in back of just.
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah. So that's our storage area.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's our store.
So
and
nice.
Has and then we do this for our first time pointe shoe fittings. They have a little sash and it's rhinestoned.
That's adorable.
Yeah, we make it a big deal. We treat them like princesses in here.
That's so cute.
But yeah, that's my store.
Fab. So sorry, refresh me. How many years have you been open for?
20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Have you always been in the same location, or?
Oh, here, let me turn this. No, I've moved. This will be my 3rd time. So
wow.
I just keep moving in this vicinity. So this is my last move. This is a painful tenant finish. This is hard. But we just do too many pointe shoes, and the other place just wasn't fitting our needs.
Sure.
Because we do an average of about, well, not now, but we can do an average of about 20 a day, and then the weekends it can get up to 60 to 80 on the weekends.
Of course.
Yeah.
Amazing. How about you sit down somewhere and get comfy?
And then
Yeah,
you can
might
prop,
just move it
and then
around too much.
you can prop your phone up. What I tend to do is find something to balance it on, if that makes sense, like to prop it up.
See, we should have had educating how to do this.
It's a learning experience, I tell you.
Okay, there we go.
Oh God, let's see.
Not much better, huh?
Can you tilt it down a little bit, if that makes sense? Is it possible? That's better. Yes, much better. There we go.
All right.
Yes, nice. So tell me a bit about your background experience. Have you danced yourself? How did you get into running a dance business?
Okay. So I'm actually a CPA by trade. All right. And then what I did was my children were big dancers. And if you know anything about the accounting world, you work a lot of hours. And so basically, my kids were they were dancing 6 days a week, only available on Sundays. And it just got frustrating because I was always working. I never could get to a store. So it's seriously, when I started looking at opening a business, I was complaining about it all the time. And I said, okay, we need to open a store. So we had 3 reasons: location, working hours for working people, and customer service. And I danced all the way through college. My parents wouldn't let me take it any further though. But I have 3 children and they've all danced. But my middle child, Mallory, she's in the profession. So she dances professionally.
Oh, cool.
But I never danced professionally, but it's okay. I've got so much training on the pointe shoes. I did do pointe, but I never took it to the next level because my parents wanted me to make money for a living.
Sure.
So
Yeah. I get you. Cool.
yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the Nikolay pointe shoes that you carry. Do you have any favorite models?
Okay, so probably many of you are where I'm at right now. So what I have right now is just a Nikolay 3007. Okay. We were bringing in a bunch more, but then everything fell apart. So
of course,
had everything shut down. So we had the shoe in for about 2 weeks, and then we got shut down. So it's still pretty new for us. But yesterday I did put somebody in it, and it is beautiful.
Isn't it? Isn't it an
nice
incredible upgrade from the 2007,
yes.
I think?
Yeah, just how it fits the profile of the side, the heels.
The heel is so much more sleeker now, don't you think?
Yeah, it's gorgeous. You guys did a really good job. So I'm very excited about it. So we've sold about, I'm going to be honest with you, probably about 4 pairs. We just haven't had a lot of opportunity when they shut us down. So but we're excited about it.
Absolutely. I can always recommend you some shoes later on that you could stock as well.
You did. I bought them all, and then I had to hold off because I saw you in LA. So.
Oh my God, I don't even remember. How bad is that?
Yeah, that's okay.
It all blends into one. LA was just so hectic. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. No, you were very helpful there.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you learned some stuff. So when you do pointe shoe fittings there, tell us a little bit about how you guys work, the process, what kind of sets you aside, what makes your store kind of special, and why should people come to you for a fitting? Okay,
I personally think we do the best, okay? We care about the feet. So our motto really is healthy feet. I have very damaged feet from pointe shoes.
Oh, wow.
We didn't have we didn't have the selection that you guys have today. We didn't
have
these
of course.
pads. No. So the first thing we do is we get the kid in here. We keep it up to 2 hours in appointments. Sometimes the other day I was 4.5 hours on an appointment. But we go ahead and we set them up in a book, on an iPad, so we get some history on them. We make sure that they have all the approvals from the teachers, because you have kids coming in that want pointe shoes that
I can imagine.
Yeah, so we got to make sure they're approved for it. And then we basically just go through the process. The big thing that we're running into right now is sensitivity. So one of the first things that we ask for right now is the first thing that comes out of my mouth is, are you sensitive to seams?
Interesting.
I don't know what you're talking about. Do you move your socks around to avoid the seam? Do you move your tights
good
around
point.
And if they say yes, then we can't even put them in an ouch pouch or anything, because the seam will drive them crazy, and then that'll affect the whole fitting. So then we have to go to a seamless pad. So that's what we start up right now, is we go ahead and make sure that they're not sensitive, because kids are super sensitive now, to the point that sometimes you have to put so much padding in there that it's like, wait, well, hold on here. And then we have to get them as comfortable as we can, and then start weaning them away as we start seeing them. But it's tough. So that's why all these shoes coming out are, you know, they're coming out with some really good technology inside, so you don't have to use so much pad. And that's what that
Yeah, oh my
Nikolay,
God, you would love
yeah,
Stream Point and
yeah,
Super Triumph for that,
yeah,
absolutely. Because
yeah.
also I
So
find with the younger dancers, sometimes they can be a bit distracted if the box is too hard as well.
yeah,
So having that flexible pace that molds quicker and adapts by heat makes it a lot more
right,
comfortable for the more sensitive feet, I find personally.
yes.
But yeah, no,
And we,
that's really interesting.
yeah, and then we just go through a series that we look at their feet, try to figure out, you know, what kind of foot they have. We are a big educator on what shoes we're trying on and why. And then at the end of what kind of shoe that they get, we explain that shoe, and what that shoe does and what we expect. And I always try to make sure that when these kids leave the store, they're on top of their boxes. So if I have to do a little bit of
Yes,
manipulation, I do
so
it.
important.
And we pin everything. I'm a big crisscross store, so I love crisscrossing. I pin everything, put the ribbons on. Then I write a note to the teacher, letting them know what I did and why I did, and make sure that the teacher checks their shoes.
That's a
And
good
then once
idea.
the teacher checks their shoes, then they're okay to sew.
Yes.
But I just think we just do a really good job as far as just explaining what we're doing. And really, for me personally, when I get a newbie, they're kind of like my point shoe baby. And then I take them all through high school, and then they graduate, and then we have, you know, it's sad, but they move on. But I take a really vested interest in the kids. They're kind of like, I protect them just like I would protect my own kids' feet.
Absolutely.
So,
And it's
yeah,
like even our motto is about healthy feet as well as a
yeah,
brand. It's so important that feet, because you know there's still people out there that think that wearing point shoes you're going to get mangled feet, and that just shouldn't be happening. I mean, I still get people come to me now that have just got such messed up feet from bad shoes, and I'm just like, how did this happen? Like in this day and age, with all the technology we've got and all the education, and people are still fitting point shoes so badly. It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
It's horrifying.
Really is so scary. And also it's sad when dancers give up because they can't find the right shoe because they haven't had a good experience with a fitter before. You
Yeah,
know,
because
so
sometimes it's the shoe. Many times the kids think it's, or even the adults, they think it's them.
I know, and
Sometimes
it's
it's
not.
the shoe. Yeah, it's the shoe.
90% of the time it's the shoe, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. And then you
So
have to rebuild them up and say it's okay. It's okay.
absolutely. It knocks your confidence a lot. I mean, I was in God knows how many bad shoes over the years, and it took a really long time to find the right shoe, but also to understand that it was the shoe and not me.
Yeah,
You know, it makes such a difference. And to any of you people watching that are struggling with shoes, you know, reach out and let's sort you out.
yes.
Any questions, guys? Pop them in the comments. I'm just going to look at the Grishko World screen as well to check the comments here. Oh, there's some nice comments on this one. Thank you, guys. Mr. Grishko is watching on that one, and he says, bravo, wonderful store.
Thank you.
People were asking where the store was, so I told them. Amazing. So, do you guys like have a website? Do you ship online? Do you sell online rather?
Well, we had to build an online store due to the coronavirus. And then it's pretty basic though. I'm kind of particular about point shoes though. That's something new. So we just have a request form, and then I'll call them, and then we'll talk about it, and then
That's
we'll
a good
do
idea.
FaceTime, because I just don't want to sell somebody a pair of shoes that
No,
are not the right shoes.
no.
And if they get them here, that's cool. But the problem is when you have outside people coming in, I mean, I don't want them to hurt themselves.
No.
I had a girl in here the other day that she had a size, she's 37, 37 foot, and she had a 39 point shoe.
No
And it's like,
way.
yeah, and it's like, and she wanted me to send that to her, and I said, can I just look
What?
at your shoes? And
Oh
they were
my
so
God.
big, so I'm still working on the online point stuff, because again, I don't want anybody to get hurt. So, but other than
No.
that, you call, we ship, the online store, we do okay.
Fantastic. Are you glad to be back in your store now?
Yes. Yes. It'll be 1 week. It'll be 1 week tomorrow. So 6 days. 6 days today.
Wow. And
Yeah.
also, we're you know, so happy to have you as an exclusive retailer in South Denver. It's great to see that we have retailers that care to the degree that they should be caring, you know.
Right.
And we're always very important with who becomes one of our retailers. Because, you know, I do find some brands are just too happy to let anyone be a stockist of point shoes. And, you know, some of them don't even check out if someone's actually a good fitter or not. Why would a brand want a store to be fitting their shoes not only badly, but also potentially hurting people, right? It's mad.
Well, for me personally, though, every brand that I've carried, I've had training on.
That's
But I
great.
also think, just as you know, sometimes you have to go to these retailer shows. You have to go, and that's where you get your training. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I never had a rep for Grishko, okay? So
Oh, wow.
I had to go to them
Uh-huh.
shows to figure out, to make sure that I'm fitting them properly, because
Yeah.
the reason this is because to me, there's only one way to fit a point shoe. It's pretty basic, you know, one way. But what I see is shocking. So I always like to have somebody reevaluate. This is how I fit, what I'm doing. Am I still doing this right? Anything changed? I'm totally about education. You know, at least 4 times a year, I'm out there getting more training and stuff like that, because there is so much coming down the pipe that you have to stay ahead of it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But I don't know about other stores, but we have a hard time breaking into new lines, though, because people are creatures of habits. So I also find that where you're located
Mm-hmm.
is kind of what dictates what shoes you sell. Even
Sure.
though, like, I have some shoes back there. I can't get anybody to even put them on because they've never heard of them.
Really?
Yeah. So I find that, you know, based on demographics is where you sell a lot of shoes.
Sure. Also, I just wanted to point out to everyone watching that Dance Extreme carry authentic Nikolay point shoes. And you know, there is a retailer carrying the fakes. And I hope that you guys gain a lot of business from this because we don't want anyone getting hurt in those fake shoes.
Yes.
You know, this is not good, and we really need to spread as much information as possible. I don't know why anyone would want to stock the fakes anyway. I really don't. But I'm aware that there is a retailer near you that is stocking the fakes, which is absolutely shocking. So if any of you guys watching that are close to Dance Extreme, please go there and get your authentic Nikolay point shoes. Please don't go and touch those fake shoes. They're nasty, and also you're going to get hurt. So please stay safe. It's very important to us. Yeah, I just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a problem.
It is scary. I've seen pictures, and I've had dancers message me with showing pictures of their shoes after like one wear, and a lot of them have literally snapped in bizarre places, like in the demi point, in the shank. People are getting blistered feet. It's crazy. Have you had any experience with the fakes yourself?
Yeah. Well, actually, I have a little Colorado ballet dancer that she's an ambassador, and right now she brought them in. It was right before we closed down,
Mm-hmm.
and her show lasted 20 minutes. So she doesn't like them. So we're trying to
Wow.
figure out what to do with her because she's a Grishko lover. So I'm gonna see if I can get her to try a Nikolay out and just see what
Oh,
she
you've
thinks.
got to. She'll be
Yeah.
astounded at the difference because one,
Yeah.
they're the real deal. They're not the fakes.
Yeah. It's hard because, you know, it's just, if people don't know, they don't know until you.
Of course, I know.
Keep in mind that I'm all about, you know, letting them know about everything, and then
Yes.
and it's just getting so confusing because they're still using all the same names and stuff like that. So it's hard because people don't know to look at the bottom and see.
We have some good news actually. We heard from Mr. Bushko today, and he said he would like to invite her to be an ambassador for the brand.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I'll give her a call. I was talking about her today.
So that'd be awesome. That'd
I'll
be
give Miss Gabby a
amazing.
call. Yeah.
And she'll get the opportunity then to try loads of our stuff, not just our shoes, but the products as well, which would be fantastic.
Yeah. Great.
I hope that she will like that.
She'll love it.
So cute. So tell me a little bit about, let's have a little bit of a story time now. So tell us a bit about your like best experiences as a fitter and some of your like most kind of shocking experiences that you've ever come across whilst point you fitting.
Well, keep in mind when they get their first point shoes, it's almost kind of like getting their first baby shoes. So they don't remember so much when they got their baby shoes, but they're seeing their shoes get fit here, and then the mom's crying. It is really a moment. You know, there's all the video going on.
Yes, I love that. I love it when it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal. So you have no idea how proud I am when I get done with the fitting, and we take the pictures, and you know, we make it a photo shoot. So any kid, and I'm really positive. Okay, so if there's some issues with the child that I have concerns about when I write that note to a teacher, I will be really honest with them. You know, but I'm not a teacher, and I'm not there to sit there and critique their technique. I'm there to fit the best point shoe for them.
Of course.
Okay, so, I think the problem that I have most when kids come in is when they've manipulated their shoes and they break them, and then parent is upset with me because the shoe didn't last.
No. I know.
You grab the shoe and go, okay, who did this? What did you do to the shoe? And of course, then you've got mom. You know, nobody's saying anything. And then we have to have a reflection of a confession, so that we can talk about, because unfortunately you can go online and break shoes, and
I know it really bothers me, the information that's out there. I always warn the girls, I'm like, please don't listen to what so and so says, you know. Oh, it's scary. Do you know what, talking about beginners, I know a shoe that you should get. I don't know if I spoke to you about it, and that's the Novice 2007. It's such a nice beginner shoe. I sell a lot of it to beginners, because obviously it's the classic 2007 shape, but it's got the super soft shank, but it's not like too soft. It's like a nice kind of shape, strength, because they get a great demi point, but also good support. And the box is like a half box, so the pace doesn't come all the way up, so it's really nice on the younger feet, I find. I've even put adult beginners in it as well. Yeah, just thought I'd throw that one in there. I don't know if I ever spoke about it before.
Yeah, you talked about that, but I do have a question for you. You know,
what's that? Oh, yeah.
The SS means super soft or short shank?
It means super soft.
Okay, thank you.
No worries.
Yeah.
And also, do you know what? That leads me to a good point to tell viewers. So if you guys aren't aware, obviously we have different constructions in different models, not all of them, but some of them. So for example, a super soft in, say, Super Triumph pre-arch or Super Triumph standard is with the Thermo shanks. So the standard Super Triumph has the Thermo shank that is not pre-arch, it's quite tough. So the super soft in that is, say, a bit more rigid than a super soft in, say, a 3007, for example. Whereas the super soft in a pre-arch Super Triumph has more flexibility because it's pre-arched. Again, it's a Thermo shank. But yeah, so some of our shanks actually come different as well. In Dream Point 2007, it starts with soft flexible. Then it goes to medium flexible, hard flexible, super hard flexible. So those ones are a little bit different. Again, they're Thermo shanks, but they're layered differently to the Thermo shanks in Super Triumph. Oh, and also the Miracle. The Miracle comes in light, medium, and light hard, and that's it. So there's quite a bit of variation there, and it can be a little bit tricky to understand those variants. And also ProFlex, because ProFlex can feel harder in the frotte, whereas in the 3007 or Nova, it's more thinner layers because it's a different shank construction. So in 3007 and Nova, it's super flexible, but in the frotte, it's a little bit more rigid due to the construction of the shank. Yeah.
Well, I think one of the things I think it'd be really important for you to explain, because I did not know this until I talked to Peter today. So I carry everything Brisket, like Brisket. I carry the Miracle, the Allure, I carry every model on Brisket, okay? I had no idea that the Nikolay has the same shoes, and they're the same shoe. So I didn't know how to convert over to a Nikolay. I don't have to. The only thing that changed was a 3007. But if I order the Triumph, you have a few more different styles of Triumph. But if I order the Triumph, it's the same Triumph as if it had Brisket on it. now has Nikolay on it, correct?
Yes, yes.
So I did not know that. So it'd be very easy to transition from Brisket to Nikolay.
Yes, of course.
Because I thought because the 3007 fit differently, I thought all of them fit differently. But I carry
no.
Yeah, I carry every Brisket imaginable. Yeah.
Good point, actually. We should tell more retailers about this. So also, yeah, because obviously you didn't get the range that you had before, so you've got more access to an incredible. It must be like kind of overwhelming in a way.
Yeah, I was like, wow, I didn't even know we even had these kind of shoes.
For you guys, it's like for people watching, if you're wondering about Standard Triumph and Super Triumph, I've got a video on my YouTube where I compare the Standard Triumph, the Super Triumph non-pre-arch, and the Super Triumph pre-arch. Because yeah, a lot of I remember I used to get quite a few emails from America, and they used to say to me, "What's all this about this Super Triumph shoe?" And I was like, "Oh, you don't have it. This was like before you got Nikolay." So yeah, now you guys get access to that. I really love Super Triumph. It's one of my top selling shoes actually. So we got a comment. Oh, we have. Can you talk about the difference between the Novas? Do you mean Nova? Nova and ProFlex. So Nova is a model. It's built on the 2007 last. I've got one here. It comes in Nova Flex, which is basically ProFlex shank, and Nova Standard and Nova Pro. So with the Pro, that means sound absorption, and it means that it's not going to make noise in the pleats and platform, like when you're on stage and pointe shoes can be noisy. But also in the Pro, it has a little bit more flexibility in the shank and the paste. However, ProFlex combines both sound absorption and a lot more flexibility. So in a Nova Flex, let me grab you one to show you what I mean. Hang on. So Nova Flex, again, it's Nova, but the difference is the shank is fully flexible. It comes in soft, medium, hard, as far as I'm aware. But in a Nova Flex, it bends a lot more drastically, as you can see. So it breaks a little bit lower, and it's got a lot more flex in the 3/4 and the demi point. Whereas in this is a Nova Pro, as you can see, it breaks higher up, and it's not as flexible. This is medium as well. And the demi point area is stiffer, but still, after a few wears, you still get a beautiful roll through. The Nova model itself is different because it has a lower heel, double upper, so it's very smooth, higher wings, a very rounded platform. It has the lightweight paste in the box, deep U-cut vamp, quite low sides. It's this kind of shoe for me sells very well with dancers who have not much heel. If they've got disappearing heels or a narrow heel, and they like 2007 or 3007, but they still feel it's a bit too much at the heel there, it gives a sleeker appearance. And also dancers who are hyperextended or hypermobile, who have got high arches because the wings give them a lot more support laterally. And dancers who, aren't too high in profile, you can't be a high profile foot for Nova because it is quite low profile. But yeah, it's I've been selling this shoe for years, and it's one of my faves. It's a beautiful one. And if you like Nova, you're going to love Miracle, because Miracle is built on the same last as Nova. It's part of 2007 family as well. But the Miracle is padded on the inside, and it's the lightest weight shoe that we have. And it has not just sound absorption around here, but also in the demi point area. So that's also a great one to try if you like the Nova. I won't waffle on too much, because otherwise I'm going to bore people with my pointe shoe talk.
Well, somebody asked in there, how many pointe shoes do I carry? I carry probably about 15 to 17 different brands, and probably about 77 different styles. So we have over 5,000. We have over 5,000 pointe shoes in our store.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
They're asking if you carry Dream Point, so that's the Allure, by the way.
I do carry the Dream Point, and I love the Allure, especially if you have those kids that need that bend in the shoe, that want that pretty archy foot. It's a beautiful shoe.
So just to let you guys know that if you're getting confused with Dream Point 2007 pre-arched and Allure, they're the same thing, just so you know. We used to have a Dream Point that was not pre-arched, and it was smaller platform and stuff, but yeah, it's not as great as the Dream Point 2007. So what's your, I think I've asked you this already, but what was your favorite Brisket models that you had or still have? Like, I mean, apart from the 3007, was there any others that you really liked?
Our top selling one was the 2007. And then our next one is the Novaplex. Yeah.
Ah, cool.
Yeah. And we sold the Elites. We sold, Nova's a tough one for us because it is more wing to it. I think the bump is just a little bit higher, and then that roll through is harder. But when you put that flexor on it, it makes a world of difference.
Oh, God, yeah, it does, definitely.
Well for us. Yeah, so I think the 2007 is our top. It still is our top selling. Grishkas are still our top selling shoe.
That's good news.
We need to get this back. You really
do.
Lost so much momentum because of what was happening, and so many girls had to move on to different shoes because they couldn't get their shoes. So we got to somehow bring them back in the fold. And
do you know what you should do as well? Is you should have like a fitting day for Nikolay and make a big deal of it and, promote it well. And then you could do like, give them the opportunity to then try some different models that they didn't know about. Because it's always exciting for dancers to try models they haven't had before, right?
Right.
That makes a big difference, I think. And just kind of showing them what we're about now, because of course you guys have so much more access to the entire range, including the dancewear, which is just amazing, really.
Right.
Also, I just wanted to mention to any retailers watching that for you guys in the US, you should be buying your shoes from Nikolay. You shouldn't be buying from Canada or Mexico, only from us guys in Russia, because Nikolay is for America. So I know that Grishko Canada are helping you guys out, like people out in America when we have the problems. But, we've been trading to the American market for a long while now. So if you're still getting your shoes from Grishko Canada, anybody who's watching, can you be sure to switch to Nikolay, because we deal with you guys directly for the Americans. And not Mexico is a different thing as well. Mexico have their own distributor also, if anyone was wondering. Someone's asking you if you carry the booties, the Nikolay booties.
We do. We have them. And remember, you have to understand that I didn't even know you carried booties until I got them.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
I saw them in February. You guys need to go to the retail show. Just first of all, you'll see everything. But that's where I saw them, so I have some. Yes. And
wow.
Yes,
I love them too. I've got the
booties are very popular.
The pink bubblegum one's my favorite.
Yeah.
I've also got the vintage gold.
Yes, the floral one.
Oh, the floral's good too.
Yeah.
You can also, for viewers watching, you can custom order as well. Don't forget, point shoes, ballet shoes, dancewear, booties, the works. So if you want something tweaked to suit you, or if something's not in stock, we can get it quick as well, because you guys in America can also get special orders within 2 weeks now, which is amazing. So that's always an option, don't forget. Yeah, let's have a little read of the comments. Georgia loves her booties too. Hi, Georgia. Georgia's a Grishko girl from the UK. She lives in Scotland. I'm just going to look at the comments on Grishko World. Hang on a second. Someone says, Georgia on Grishko World says, does it mean my Grishko 2007s are too small if the backs of my shoes hurt and pull off my foot when I go onto demi point? So Georgia, this can be a variety of things actually. They could be too small. You want to make sure that your toes are not curling or overlapping when you're on flat. But also the reason why it could be popping off the back is because the vamp could be too long when you're rolling through. The demi point's still hard, possibly, or the shank in general is too hard for you. It could also be profile height, believe it or not. If the profile height is too low for your foot, when you're rolling through, that profile height is just going to crumple you and you're going to have a lot of pressure. So that pressure when you roll through is going to cause that pop. I would say ask your teacher to check your shoes, see what she thinks, see if she thinks you've grown, if you're still growing. because you'll be astounded how a little bit of growth in pointe shoes can affect the fit. And if they say that the shoes fit fine, then I would recommend going to the fitter and asking for some solutions. It could be that you need to tweak your elastic. Yeah. Okay, let me just get these up. Okay, so also, did you when you was in LA, did you get to meet Mr. Grishko?
Yes, I met him at one of the meet and greet things.
Oh, cool.
Was it at the party or whatever?
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
I'm still yet to see that picture. Someone took our picture of our team at the cocktail party thing, and I've not seen that picture yet. Atlantic Dance Retail Show, if you're still watching, you know the picture I'm on about, I think. It was meant to go on your website. I've not seen it yet. I want to see it.
Okay.
Let's have a little look through these comments. Someone, Love Like a Hippie has asked you, how long have you been carrying Grishkos in your store?
I'm pretty sure that we've had them for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, we've had them since the beginning.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, and there was a lady by the name of Linda, I think it's Linda. Anyway, she worked at the Grishko store in New York, and she's the one that trained me on the Grishko shoes.
Oh my God.
Great fitter. Yeah, so Grishko, again, is our top selling shoe, so please.
Fabulous.
That shoe.
Does Dance Extreme have an ambassador program? Sierra Mist has asked.
We have been talking about an ambassador program. So Sierra is sitting right next to me, so this is her way of getting me to commit to his ambassador program. Yeah, so we've been talking about it. Yeah. Sitting right next here. Let's just put it on live.
Hi, Sierra. That's so funny.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm kind of really old school. I'm not a good change person. So if I didn't have her doing my Instagram and stuff like that, but people, I think it's time to be able to have an ambassador program.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Atlantic Dance Retail Show. They're going to try to get me those pictures I want. Thanks.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, having ambassador programs, it's a really good idea, I think. We've got obviously NG Generation. For those guys who don't know, we have, for the younger ones, a program. You can apply every year, every fall. We have an application process. So go and give them a follow, NG Generation. Let's see if there's any other questions here. Let's see. Georgia said she watched so many of my YouTube videos last night. I'm glad you find it entertaining. Oh. Any more questions, guys? Pop them in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. I'm just going to scroll through the ones on Grishko World as well. Let's see. No, nothing on there. Okay. So, do you have anything you'd like to speak about on this stream, by the way?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I was very nervous about this. It's been an honor. Like I said, I met you in LA. You were just a shining star. I was asking a lot of questions with the lady that I was working with, and you came over and answered all the questions. So they should be so lucky to have you. Okay.
Oh, thank you so much.
And so you're just so kind and patient, and I'm pretty excited. I think the most important thing for me too is when I talk to Peter, my problem is we got to be careful not to sell to everyone and anyone, because it's just too hard to compete. Personally, my biggest discouragement is I spend all this time making sure they have the perfect fit, and then I lose the customer to the catalog. And that's frustrating because and then the only time I'll see them again is when they need to be refitted. And that's hard. No, it's hard. So we just got to really help the retailers out so that we can stay, so people will come see us. We need them.
Yes, absolutely.
Pointe shoes are pretty important. You could ruin their feet.
Exactly.
And kids are starting at age 10 now. 10.
I know, it's mad.
Young.
It really is.
you got to protect their feet.
Totally
So,
agree.
so I don't know. I just feel like it's just super important to me to have retailers or to have vendors that actually support their retailers and that doesn't sell to everybody and their mother. And discount dance is one of my biggest pet peeves. So FYI, because it's frustrating.
I can understand that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Tell us a bit more. I noticed you had obviously a lot of ballroom shoes. So we do ballroom shoes too, but tell us a bit. So do you have a lot of ballroom dancers around your area or?
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, we do a lot of social dancing. Okay, so we got to be careful. Once it gets past the $150 mark, we kind of lose the customers. Okay,
Sure.
So we got to keep it in that bridge of about 180 down. Okay, we have a lot of older clientele that love to do this social dancing. There's a lot of swing out here. But and once in a while we'll get some professionals in here with their teachers, some professional teachers in here with their students, and they help. But we have a lot of selection. We do a really good business on ballroom.
What type of ballroom heel sells the best for you? Like what kind of shape of heel or height of heel?
So the 2-inch open toe is probably the best for us. However, we're getting a lot of requests for the square heel 1-inch, and that's for that swing. And I sell very few closed toes for smooth dancing. It's mainly, not too much waltzing going on, but people want that low heel and strappy, and people love the rhinestones. More rhinestones, the better.
Oh yes, love rhinestones. Yeah. I like anything glitzy personally.
But you know what? Sometimes the ballroom shoe can take longer than a pointe shoe, and it's a 50% chance whether or not they buy or walk out, and that's hard too.
Because obviously I've never fitted a ballroom shoe, so I have no idea about it.
Takes a lot of time. Yeah, we're actually thinking about planning a fitting fee, so that time is not wasted. Yeah, it takes a lot of time. Yeah,
I can't imagine how frustrating it must be otherwise.
Yeah,
crazy. Let's have a little look. So AB ballet, how much training did you have to do to be able to do pointe shoe fittings? Well, in my opinion, you're always learning. You never stop learning. There's no official qualification as such. There are brands have a day course or a 2-day course usually. And even if someone's done that, it doesn't make them a good fitter, in my opinion. It's about the years of experience you build, and it's about the knowledge you build, not just about fitting shoes, but dancers' bodies, alignment, strength, technique, diagnosing problems, knowing how to communicate, like, believe it or not, because I've had fittings where the fitter just does not communicate well, and that's very awkward because, as a customer, you want to be able to communicate well with the fitter to explain what you're feeling in the shoe and to have them understand. How about you, Vicky? Like, obviously you've been fitting shoes a lot longer than me.
So when I opened my store, no one in Colorado would help me because I was competition. So I had to leave the state. So I went to Kansas City. Just because you've been in pointe shoes doesn't mean you know how to fit a pointe shoe. Just keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
I find that a lot. Okay, so fitting a pointe shoe is a whole different monster. And like I said, 4 times a year, I take up any opportunity for training and get the latest and greatest new things. But it probably took me about maybe 6 months. And then for my staff, just so you know how it works in here, when I bring a new staffer in, they kind of can only do refit, same shoes. They work on that for about 6 months.
Good idea.
It takes me about a year to train a person to officially do a pointe shoe without me worrying about them.
You guys watching, this is a sign of a good retailer, like a very good retailer, and also a very good fitter, because it must be taken seriously. Even in the UK, even in London, right, we even have stores where they take on Saturday girls who are like 15 years old, and they just let them riot. They're like, okay, yep, you can get on with that fitting then. And the manager doesn't come over to check, nothing, and some of these, I've had like dancers come to me that have been fit like by these dancers that have literally just gotten a job at doing pointe shoe fitting, and I'm just like, oh my God, I said to them, like, you know, did anyone come and check the fitting when she was done or he was done? And they're like, no, they said it was fine. So we just went along with what they said. And I was like, it's a shame that you've sewn the shoes and worn them, because I would have just gone straight back and said, hey, I want the manager to take a look.
Right.
It's so crucial that, you know, if you're learning to fit shoes, that you're trained and have enough time to experience what you're going to get, because it's, you know, it's also the difference between, say, fitting a first timer, fitting someone who's been on point before, or fitting even like a semi-pro or professional. They're all different ball games. So, you know, you can't just learn it overnight. It's not like a kind of job that you just do a little day course thing and boom, you know it all. Or, you know, just because, I mean, I've been fitted by so-called professional dancers, right, as well, and I've had some terrible experiences. I've had instances where they've literally sat me down, grabbed 3 pairs of shoes and told me to put them on, literally didn't ask me many questions, and then just said to me, oh yeah, that looks great, really does, yeah, that's a shoe for you. And then whenever I had something to say about it, they would never listen and just be like, well, have that attitude of they are professionals, so they know best. And
Right.
it's so awful. Like, you can't do that, you know? Oh,
You
it's
have to,
absolutely mad.
you have got to communicate with them, and you have to learn how to read people too, because especially with you young kids, some of them don't talk. You've got to get them to talk to you. So like, I'll start off like, do you have dogs? Do you have siblings?
Yeah.
I start to get to know them, to try to get them to open up,
Yes.
because they have to talk. We can't see what's going on in that shoe. They have to tell us what's going on. So then we do pressure points. We touch their feet. We explain what they should be feeling. They have to participate in this. I can say this looks great, you know, but you're the one, you're ultimately the one that has to wear that. So they have to own this with you.
Yes. It's a team effort. It really is.
Yeah.
And it can be, you know, also fitting shoes, you can get very shy dancers. So you know, like you said about getting them to talk to you, open up. You've got to be able to make them not afraid to tell you what they're feeling in the shoe.
Right.
You've got to be very good at dealing with people in general.
Yeah. Because sometimes they don't say anything because they're thinking they're not going to get their shoes.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
It could be very tricky.
no, it's all good. We'll figure it out.
Someone's asked on the Grishko World stream, would you recommend having the store sewing your point shoes or doing it yourself? So I personally do offer a sewing service, but one thing I would say, make sure the fitter looks at your feet, because everyone's feet are different, and there might be different things we suggest for your feet. So yeah, I mean, it's good to sew them yourself and learn. Of course it is, absolutely. But I understand that not many people like sewing or have the time. So, you know, in this day and age, we're quite lucky to have that option for someone else to do it.
Yeah. Well, we actually, remember at the beginning I said, when it's a first timer, I pin everything as if it's been sewn. I pin it, ribbon elastic, write the note, teacher approves them. I always ask that they learn how to sew their shoes. You need to learn how to sew your shoes just in case something were to happen. So you
True,
can fix your shoes.
Exactly.
But we do offer, we sew them on the sewing machine. And we charge $10 to sew the point shoes, and people will probably pay $20. They love the sewing.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When you sew them on the machine, right, does it go through the outer satin, or does it not?
Oh yes.
Oh, it does.
Yes, I'm sorry. I take it all the way out, because as fast as they go through those shoes, you know, unless you're going to be crawling on the floors and looking at that. Oh yeah, no. We'd have to charge $50 to hand sew it like that. So, but yeah, we just get we get the thread to match, and believe it or not, if you take it right underneath the rim of the shoe where the drawstring is, you can't even see it.
Oh, interesting. I was just curious because I've never done it on a machine before.
Yeah.
So there are many methods. I don't know if you guys watching, you might not be aware, but there are many ways to sew shoes. Some teachers have a preference, so just be sure to check with your teacher as well. Someone has said, Dancer Robin says, opinion on darning point shoes. Well, I personally love it, but it's not as common. I mean, they're in England, most professionals do it because they like it. I couldn't be without it, because if you follow me on Instagram, you know I love it. I don't like the full platform old-fashioned method because it takes ages, and I don't like the thickness of it. I just do around the outside. I'm just going to find one of my shoes. Hang on. So I just do around the edge, very chunky. And the idea with this method is it adds extra platform, but also it adds traction and it also adds stability. So that's why I personally do it. But as a dancer, you need to figure out what suits you and also what your teacher wants, because you shouldn't just do things to your shoes without getting an opinion on it, because every foot is different. Because you can darn under this bit as well. I don't do full circle because otherwise it pulls me off point because I don't have flexible ankles. Some people, I mean, in England, it's funny because we have some teachers that are obsessed with the old-fashioned method of doing all of this and the pleats, and it stresses the parents out and the kids because they don't know how to do it and they haven't got 6 hours to darn a pair of pointe shoes. So what often we do is we put suede caps on the ends instead, which you just glue on, and that also protects the satin and gives grip. So that's also an option. Some people cut the satin off. I'm not a fan of that personally. I think it feels strange and I don't like the look, but some people do it. It's very personal. Pointe shoes are personal. So you've got to figure out what suits you, what works for you, what your teacher wants. And if you're going to darn, practice on old shoes first. Don't just what do you guys get out there?
As far as the darning goes, this is something new in Colorado, and we're starting to see a lot of it now.
That's interesting. Okay?
The problem with darning for me, if you're a seasoned dancer, you understand your center balance, all that kind of stuff, I don't mind you darning. Unfortunately, with these little ones darning, but the problem is when they haven't figured out their bodies yet, so they're learning to darn their shoes, but then when I try to do a new fitting with them, they can't, they're all over the place because they're so used to that darning.
Oh, yes, I know what you mean. To
balance them.
Yes.
Yeah, darning balances them. So I say, no.
Not for newcomers. Not for first timers.
Yeah.
No.
You have to be a seasoned dancer. And then the other thing is you can ruin a pair of shoes if you don't darn them right.
Mm-hmm.
So you
absolutely can.
To make sure you know what you're doing. But if they're a seasoned dancer, I have no problem with it. But when they're little, I need them to learn how to use their center balance.
It's so true.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But it's popular. It's getting very popular.
It's interesting because I even notice when I go to classes in America, I don't see it that often, and people often ask me about it and how I did it and everything. But I know I'm going to get a comment about it. Yes, I've got a new video coming soon. I need to do it. I know. Don't worry. I do remember. I have got a lot of requests for it. This stream's going to end in 1 minute 50 seconds. Are you able to do an extra 10 minutes after this one? Because we have to refresh the stream because it does an hour at a time, if you know what I mean.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, I can.
So what you have to do is we're going to have to we have to reboot it. So we'll come back for another 10 minutes. So everyone watching, just refresh the Nikolay World profile and you'll be able to hop back on. And I'll answer more of the questions from Brisket World as well, because there's quite a few on there.
Okay, what do I do?
Okay, so we'll be back in a second.
Let's just tap the button.